Hi there, welcome back to the action live here from Barnsley Metrodome. It is Stream 2 and it is a round 2 meeting between Germany's top two. In fact, it's a round 3 meeting, I beg your pardon. Martin Schindler and Gabriel Clemens, the German giants.
Martin to throw for the bullseye first.
Against the wall for the right to reach the last 16.
25.
Clemens just getting the better of Nick Fulwell to get to this stage
25.
Against his German compatriot, and I suppose there's not a belt
outside
at stake or anything like that, Mark, but a little bit of an indication into who is the greatest German of them all, perhaps at the end
outside.
of this match.
There's definitely always that little bit of rivalry, isn't it? Obviously good friends away from the hockey, teammates as well at the World Cup.
25.
But to say Martin Schindler has been the better of the two this year, but both
25.
made good accounts of themselves at the World Match Play. I expected Martin to play well. Gabriel's a bit of a mixed bag at the minute. You never know what you're going to get with him, so that's what makes him difficult
25.
to play at times. But will be an interesting tie nevertheless.
Bullseye.
First meeting of the year between the pair. They did meet last year here in Barnsley and Clemens won that one 6-5 at the last 16 stage, one of 5 previous meetings. He's won the last 2, but Martin won the first 3. In fact, you might have expected it to be the other way around. Schindler winning the games when Clemens seemed to be in form, and Clemens winning the matches when Shindy seemed to be the main man in German darts.
Maybe that just tells you what you mentioned, Chris. Maybe just that rivalry.
77.
Just getting the better and form goes out the window. But great start from Clemens, 177. We've got a German still in action in the previous round. Florian Hempel, 2-1 up on Mickey Mansell. And the German Ricardo Pietreczko having a good day. Talked about it just before we went on air, didn't we? He defeated Joe Cullen.
100.
Yeah, Cullen, one of the top seeds out. Peter Wright was knocked out in the first round by David Pallett, who's also advanced to this stage.
59.
The former German #1. We saw on this stream earlier on, and he just didn't get anything together. He lost 6-0 to Michael Smith. That was Max Hopp, and the winner incidentally plays Michael Smith or Vincent van der Voort in the next round.
Needs a treble to leave a finish.
59.
Can't get one, so that will probably change Clemens' mind about the route here. Was aiming for the 25 with dart #1.
49.
You should have took your advice, Chris, because he's not left that great, and expect a bit of pressure from Martin Schindler, and the pressure's coming.
100.
That's enough, that's fine. He'd like the other one to leave double 4, but he'll take that.
And it's only one dart, a double top, and he's having to step aside to locate it. And he can't do it. So Schindler, who was seemingly nowhere in the leg, with that big score, has put himself back in the picture.
For the double.
Game shot.
And Schindler takes the opening leg, survives a missed dart from Gabriel Clemens, but the pressure told. Schindler with a hold to get us underway here in the third round.
140.
Clemens currently does have that German #1 mantle, 19 places in the order of merit better off than Martin Schindler. World number 22 plays world number 41.
140.
Schindler's only really made his breakthrough in terms of TV events this year. He made his debut at Blackpool. He's odds on to be at the Grand Prix as well. So that gap will close for sure, but Schindler just needs to start picking some wins up on TV. He would have been disappointed in the World Championships last year when he lost out to Florian Hempel in the opening round. Marginally lost out to Gabriel Price at Blackpool, so that the form on the big stage was better, but he's yet to win in 3 attempts at the World Championship, so that's where you really need to make your move. Big prize money jumps there.
Well, we're going to see Martin make a move again here.
140.
Another 140. A timely moment in a leg to leave 1-2-1 this time. And this time it's against the darts.
100.
Chris, we start the day commentating on Dave Chisnell against Ryan Joyce, and you said that Luke Humphries was the first man through, followed by Ryan Searle. The second round, it was
87.
those two again, and Luke Humphries ain't hanging around again. He's 5-2. He's on the brink of being in the last 16 in the blink of an eye. Ryan Searle is currently embroiled a little bit early in his match.
84.
As we see Clemens miss another dart at a double. Could be costly.
I think he's splitting. Does split
Game
for that
shot.
double. And he works a treat, so that miss from Clemens once again. It's a couple of darts missed at tops that have cost him. Schindler cleans up to lead 2-0.
Yeah, and you are treated to 3 days of Players' Championship, a real festival of darts.
95.
Lee. Clemens.
100.
Work to do here. You mentioned that win actually for Luke Humphries, or win that should happen. And in fact, I think it just, not quite, 5-2 up against Jeff Smith. He was actually 2-0 down in that game.
He's got those gears now, Luke Humphries.
96.
And he has now won 6-2. First man through every single round so far, as Mark was mentioning.
140.
Being seeded once, but he's playing first in the rounds, isn't he? But the all game starts simultaneously in the first round. Obviously, he's a bit ahead then, but just to walk in the room as the #1 seed is going to do your confidence the world of good. In a
127.
I then,
So how do you know?
because I asked him.
Well, Schindler knows what he's doing here. Didn't need to bother with the bullseye with
54.
Clemens way back, and it's a bit of a reverse this time. Schindler making all of the running, and Big Gabe is sinking in the quicksand seemingly.
Yeah, looking like through. Just double checking who was #1 seed of the 2008 legs. Oh, no time for that. Schindler for 3-0 here. And Clemens has had chances in the previous 2 legs.
Game
He's
shot.
not going to get one here. 3-0. It could be so different, but Schindler just doing enough, and is halfway to the last 16.
Tell you what, talking about doing enough, doing more than enough, and making the most of his opportunity today.
100.
David Pallett, who beat Peter Wright, defying that 107 average in the first round. Then in the second round, won against Gert Nenches. He's 4-2 up against Jermaine Watermainer, and on the brink of the last 16 spot himself.
Yeah, and I don't, disrespectful to local open. Dave Pallett would have probably gone and played a local open or something, with the top prize sometimes maybe what, £800, maybe even less. So just one win is a clip stat. But like you said, you get an opportunity, you've got to take it. And so far, so good for David Pallett.
58.
Been a high quality day. If you are just tuning in, well, maybe you're a little late because you missed the best performance we've seen on tour this year. Josh Rock posting an average
60.
of more than 121 in a 6-1 win against Brendan Dolan. There's also been 2 9-darters today. Jose de Sosa and Rusty Jake Rodriguez producing perfect legs.
99.
There's been some standing. There was 3 9-darters last night in the qualifiers. Incredible.
Jamie Hughes, Cameron Menzies, and
139.
always forget one when there's 3. Who was the other one?
I don't know. You said it earlier, I forgot. I wrote it. Go on, Chris, you'll get there. But
58.
cutting away from that while you're thinking about it, Clemens is on the verge of getting a much needed leg here. Double 16.
30.
Not there, and this would hurt.
Willie Borland.
You didn't even use your laptop to find out.
56.
Impressive stuff.
Well, it's been impressive stuff from Martin Schindler, but Clemens can get a foothold in the match if he can locate double 16, and he can. Still not happy though, a shake of the head in response to getting a leg. He knows he should not be in this position.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was, wasn't it? It was more of a, come on, they should be better off than this, but he's in the game.
100.
Also in the game as well, the winner, as I said, plays Michael Smith, Vincent van der Voort. Michael Smith raced into a 3-leg lead. Vincent's just pegged him back, so it's 3-1 in that tie as well.
180.
Good start from Clemens. We could be getting a game on our hands after all in this one. This against the throw.
60.
Nathan Aspinall threw a 6-1 win against Louis Williams to reach the last 16. Second man to get there. Showing some good form this year, Nathan Aspinall, and it's all the more impressive considering that an injury might have put
60.
paid to his life as a professional darts player. He's had to give up golf, hasn't he, Nathan Aspinall, to carry on his career.
Yeah, well, I'm inclined to think he's better at darts than golf, but yeah, it is nice to have that. When you're not playing darts, you've got to have that downtime, so that will hurt, but he's making the commitment. He was so impressive at the match play last week, pushing Michael Van Gerwen all the way and picking up where he left off. Good start today for Nathan. He's in the last 16.
He had a bit between his teeth, didn't he? Felt he was written off prematurely by
96.
so-called pundits.
Who did you go for to win out of Luke Humphries and him?
Well, I didn't actually pick a winner of that match, but I will admit I actually thought Luke Humphries might win the whole tournament. So
I said the same, so I think it might have been aimed at me, but I've had a chat with him since, and hey, if it works, it fires players up, and it was look, he's a good guy, Nathan, and we don't always get it right as pundits. Well,
46.
I hardly ever get it right, but you know, if that fires players up, I liked it. Joe Cullen as well fired himself up by not being the favourite against Damon Heta.
Do you know, I think a few of them were guilty of
34.
assuming that Pro Tour form would be translated to the big tournament. I know Humphries won his matches, most of them the Euro Tour, as Clemens pins tops in this one. But the big occasion, the big event, it is when the big boys come out to play, isn't it, so often?
And Aspinall has proved it time and time again, and we talk about players who's the champion who's not here, but will you dare write off Michael Van Gerwen? I couldn't see him winning that title, and even after the first couple of rounds I still wasn't convinced, but the form in the final was incredible, and credit to him.
Yeah, sometimes absence makes you forget as well. Van Gerwen hasn't participated an awful lot this year, partly because of his injury problem he had himself, but he still won more titles than anybody else in 2022. In fact, I'll have a flick through what he has played in, because his percentage of tournament wins is pretty high this season.
Yeah, it's been a good year for Michael. He's off to Australia, obviously taking his tournament off like Johnny Clayton has. Gedlin Price, I think, is going to play the first couple. That's the plan. I spoke to him in an exhibition the weekend. You never know, when you start playing well, you might stay and play another one. You don't know, do you?
Yeah, and the other side of the coin, we've seen it happen for Gezi before, is if he loses first round, he goes straight home and doesn't bother to play the next day. Had enough of this.
Imagine if I'd done that in the latter years.
140.
Save yourself a few nights hotel rooms, wouldn't you?
Yeah, just a few. Anyway, Schindler restoring order here. We were back on throw, we're still on throw, but Schindler has a chance for 4-2 now.
Dribble 20. May go double-double. Well, he opted against it.
47.
And a bit careless with the last start as well.
Yeah, there was no conviction that last start, was there?
Well, he may go double-double. And he did attempt it.
39.
This for 4-2. And Clemens, who worked really hard to get back on throw. Schindler, 2 darts, should be just going straight for it. Straight for a double, but he gets the double 8 and moves back in front by a 2-leg cushion and has the break in hand. Schindler, 2 legs away from the last 16. Ryan Searle has just gone. He's beaten Kenny Nyans 6-4. Gone to the last 16, I should say. Not gone from the event. He joins Aspinall and Luke Humphries. 3 confirmed players in.
140.
It was a final, wasn't it, this year? The very first Players' Championship event of the season. Searle v Humphries. Humphries getting the better of heavy metal on that occasion, but the pair of them tearing through the field today.
On course for a quarter-final. They had an absolutely epic encounter at the Grand Prix last year as well.
80.
We've been talking about that a lot throughout the day. We'll carry on to talk about it because obviously spots available, and with the absence of Players' Championships now, before there's only 2 left, so this may be some players' last chance.
Been a good night for Martin Schindler. Well, a good couple of days for Martin Schindler, should I say. Last night was a good night. He got through both European Tour qualifiers, seeing off Keegan Brown and Jack Main in decisive matches. And you mentioned that performance he put up in the World Match Play against Gabriel Price. It was really decent stuff from Schindler, wasn't it? He looked like he might beat Price for stretches of that match.
Yeah, and he took out a 1-4-1 to level the match up a 5 apiece, and he gave it some as well. He was ready for the battle, and he made Gabriel Price battle. And like you said, Chris, there was times where you felt he might get the job done, but there was a stage with back-to-back 11 darts that ultimately did enough for Gabriel Price. It wasn't what Schindler did wrong, it was more what Price did right. But it was a good debut in the match play for this man.
Semi-finalist as well at one of these Pro Tour events before the match play, and would have been disappointed to lose at that stage to Boris Koltsov. He'd be disappointed to lose the position he's had in this match. But Clemens just keeps on clinging on.
Yeah, can't shake him off, can you? See Clemens there G'ing himself up. You don't see a great deal of this from Clemens, but I think he feels this scoreline should be more in his favour. I want to say more in his favour, maybe 4-3 to him, but it just feels like he's missed chances and let Martin Schindler off the hook.
We spoke about David Pallett. He's now through to the last 16, beating Jermaine Watermain 6-4. He's joined by Josh Rock, who defeats Jeffrey Desvan 6-4, despite his average plummeting by 25 points from the previous round.
He's had an absolute shocker there, Josh Rock, a 96 average. Incredible performance, but that's even more, not even more impressive.
60.
You know what I'm going, Chris. You have games like that, you're never going to back him up, but just to grind out victory shows he's got the battle as well, and he's got every little bit of quality to be a star in the sport, Josh Rock, and this is just the beginning.
If you've just played a match where you've hit just about everything you've gone for, you must, when you're averaging 96, feel like you're not playing well.
59.
It does. You can get yourself a little bit frustrated thinking you're not playing well. Like you said, he'll probably look at that 96 and think, oh, I didn't think it was that high, but it's such a drop, isn't it? But
59.
It's job done for Josh.
Florian Hempel, you mentioned, still involved in that long match against Mickey Mansell. It's 5-3 to the German at the moment. That's still a second round tie. The last one still in progress.
100.
Now then, is it a key exchange? Well, Clemens isn't going to take this out. Would fancy Martin Schindler to go the treble 17 route when he returns.
78.
He's a big fan of tops.
Yeah, 2 treble 20s, double 11 is you spend most of your time on that treble. I think's the way. I do get what you're saying, that treble 17, it's a viable shot as well. But Clemens to get level, and he's been chasing throughout.
80.
Like a decent guide, and yeah, he's just been. Yeah, I think chasing's a very good way of putting it, and a lot of that has been because he's missed at the wrong times and Martin's hit at the right times, and this would be the right time once again.
Just can't get level, can he? Really get another chance.
Game
not
shot.
going to. And this is just going to add to the frustrations of Gabriel Clemens, because tried to G himself up at the beginning of that leg, but ultimately he's in a position now where he's got to win 3 consecutive legs and 2 of them against the darts, and you can see he's frustrated. He's had chances, plenty of them as well, but it's Schindler who's been the more clinical.
96.
Likely to be a slight break after this match as we await the
85.
last 16 games. There'll be a handful of players through to that stage so far, as we've been informing you of.
140.
Humphreys, Rock, Laspinell and Pallett.
Well, Michael Smith had it all his own way in his previous match against Max Hopp, and he raced into a 3-leg lead against Vincent. That's now 5-4. So, winner of that plays the winner of this, remember. Just has a way of grinding
53.
players down and getting into the, not grinding players down, but finding a way to dig in Vincent van der Voort. Making players work for victory, I think.
180.
The word I'm looking for, rather than grinding opponents down.
Well, for once it's a big hit from Clemens to take control of a leg. Still, if he wins this leg, you'll feel he's got every chance. Well, of course, if he loses it, he's got no chance, Mark. I just thought I'd get myself out of that dead end before you did.
I would have said nothing, but that's a good shot from Clemens, and for all the frustration, he won't go away. Keeps chipping away.
Well, this is the position, isn't it? Backing it up. He's been getting the break and then not holding.
And he had a first dart to work with. Won't be happy with just a turn there. Just had our last 64 match completed. Florian Hempel has just defeated Mickey Mansell. He's going to be a bit behind that board.
Some real high quality stuff here in Barnsley. Dave Chisnell 4-0 up, averaging 113 against Robert Owen. And I've just had confirmation of the last 16 match that we're going to get here on this stream. Oh, 60. Well, never mind that. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, it was a 180 that became 60.
I'm not sure what the last start did, but do you think it was in the treble?
Well, whatever it did, it was destructive, wasn't it?
It was a 140 on the floor, and like you said there, look at the difference in the scoreline now.
Yeah, it will be Nathan Aspinall against either Dave Chisnell or Robert Owen over on stream 1. Here on this stream will be David Pallett, who we've been talking about, getting a chance
46.
to be in the limelight. He'll face either Danny Nopper or Chris Dobie.
Only 3-2 to Chris Dobie, that one. He's gone through some last leg deciders there, Chris.
100.
That was a helping hand for even 80 more points. Mark would put Schindler in a decent position. He's having to work his way, craft his way to a finish, and he's been able to do it. So Clemens has 6 from here to tie it up and force the deciding leg.
You kind of feel that Clemens deserves to make this level, because he's kept chipping away, and he's missed a dart for 5 apiece. He's going to come back.
$58.
Big swig of H2O before he approaches the hockey. But he couldn't keep his cool. And now Schindler could steal.
Now this would hurt, and it'd be the story of the match really for Martin Schindler. Every chance he's had to get level. And 3-0 down. Oh, here we go. Schindler to finish in style, and that is really the story of the match. Clemens will not believe that hasn't gone to the deciding leg, but too many missed opportunities from Gabriel Clemens, and he's paid the ultimate price. What a way to finish. Martin Schindler with a 1-5-2 finish to wrap up victory here, and he goes in to the last 16, and there we see averages 90 for Schindler. Clemens the better average, but the finishing let him down, and he's paid the price. Schindler through 6-4, and he'll face Michael Smith in the last 16.